Evening, everybody. Welcome to another Gaming Arcadia Roundtable, which actually might be a temporary name. I might put it out to the fans on Twitter and see what they'd like this podcast to be called instead. Might be the direction that we take going forwards. But for now, there's actually quite a lot to talk about this week, which is a delight. So if you have come along to watch with us, thanks, and hope you will enjoy it. Let's get straight into introducing and finding out how my co-hosts are doing. Let's start with you, Craig. Craig. How you doing?
I'm not on Xbox. You don't have to shout.
I've been just seeing everything in uppercase since that day. Have you? Tell me more. You're not on Xbox, but are you well?
Well, yes, thank you very much.
Excellent.
Trying my best to avoid the sun today, but yeah.
Do you know, I've been all right out of the sun today, but I'm sitting in this room right now and it's warm and sweaty. Yeah, it's disgusting. Luke, I've not spoken to you much this week. How you been?
Very well, yeah. Very, very well.
Yeah, I did punch myself in the face. I'm doing I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's actually really hot here as well, but I have the air conditioner on, so that's good.
For those thinking that I'm just an arsehole and I'm really cruel, I'm not. He said before we started that he's got some bruising on his face and whatever, and I actually can't perceive it at all, but it's good to have a bit of fun with it and make him uncomfortable just for that brief moment. But he's all right. He's good. So,
yeah.
There's more content for The Witcher. There's Xbox saying funny things. There's Steam Deck price increases, and there's 007 and all the rest of it. There's quite a lot going on this week, but as always, we're going to start off talking about some games that we've been playing, because that's always my favourite part. And I know some of it's going to be 007, but let's try and get some other things out of the way first if people have been playing other things. So, Craig, I reckon you've been driving. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I'm still in the Forza trenches. I haven't come out of them yet.
Is it wearing thin yet?
That's all I've got. No, I think I'm closing in on the end of, like, I've done every race, first place in every race. I just need to get the 3 stars on the danger signs and the drift zones and stuff. I was going around looking for some of I've got all the barn finds now. There's these, I forget what the other ones are called. Prize cars that you just find scattered around.
Do you have any cars that are worth 70 million credit?
No, but I might actually pay real world money to get one to be like you.
So if you have the extra content for Forza Horizon, right, you get 1 car voucher that you can use to unlock any car that's available from its auto shop. So I did the sensible thing and I organized it by value. I found the most expensive car, which is a prestige Ferrari of times gone by, that cost 70 million credits, and I picked it up. It's not very good, but Craig is mad with envy and considering cracking open his wallet so that he can also have this 70 million credit car.
It was more just so that you didn't feel special.
Craig, I never feel special. So if it saves you some money, I don't feel good about this car.
Don't worry about it.
I've got it, but I'm not going to use it too much. But there you go. So those of you that are here and have also played some Forza Horizon 6, if you happen to do the early access thing or get the premium pack or otherwise get a car voucher, what did you spend it on? What is the car of choice? What did you get, Craig?
The Pagani Zonda R. That was my choice.
Do you have regrets?
No, not even slightly.
Fair enough. That's the way to live. I mean,
Yeah.
either have a little back and forth about Forza Horizon 6 or tell us something you've been playing.
Yeah, I've been playing Forza, I would say. Played Forza last night with Greg. I did beat him once to redeem myself. I'm good with the controller. Not yeah, I'm actually good. Don't make fun of me.
No, you did well. We didn't have to crack your race out.
Yeah.
So, tell me what the problem is with the steering wheel, though, because the steering wheel is like it's a very granular way to control a game. Does Forza Horizon just not do it particularly well, not being the sim game as it is? Or is it a you issue? Like, what's going on? Why are you better with a controller?
It's just like it's a bit sensitive. Like some cars are sensitive, and like the car when it's drifting and all of that, like the wheel will start turning how the car is drifting, and you need to control it. And I will not do it again.
It's okay. It's all there. We can get it back.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just not used to like trying to control a car when it's drifting. That's all. But when you are with the controller, you just have a joystick, so you don't have something resisting your like drifting, right? So that's just it.
And have you played anything else besides Forza and 007?
I actually finished Portal. So Portal 2, not Portal 1. I never played Portal 2, so I played it and finished it.
Funny thing is, he started playing Portal 2 when it came out, but the puzzles were a bit tricky. This is how long it's taken him to get through.
No.
Wow, what a journey it's been. Congratulations. I mean, we knew you could do it one day.
No, you liar. No. So... No, but yeah, I played Portal 2. I played it a little bit last year, I believe, and then I stopped because something came up. And then I continued my playthrough this year and finished it. So
you're like you're a massive Valve fanboy though, anyway. So anything that Valve do, you pretty much love. But putting that aside, how did you find? No,
I'm not. I did not like Artifact. Come on, not everything Valve. I actually like.
Did you actually play Artifact?
No, I did not try Artifact. I did not try Artifact. I actually never played Team Fortress. Not Team Fortress. Team Fortress 2. I did play the first one when it. The first one I did play, but the second one I did not.
Okay, so now that we're done pretending you're not a massive Valve fanboy, how did you find Portal 2?
I do love Valve. Valve, but it's I love them because they made my favorite games. Yeah, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Portal 2. That's the answer.
Elaborate though. What do you like about it? Like, tell me some more about it.
I like the puzzles. It is satisfying to find like the answer for the puzzles. Unlike Viewfinder, which I think I played 2 weeks ago. I think was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, you said that. But okay. So the thing that you didn't like about Viewfinder though was you felt you were kind of cheesing the puzzles because it gave you quite a lot of freedom in how you approached them. Portal, similarly does give you a lot of freedom, but you didn't feel like you could cheese your way around the intent, or?
Yeah, I never felt like I did cheese like one of the puzzles. Like I felt like I found the right solution for it, because Viewfinder is, you can cheese it in so many ways, because you can take any piece of the world and like copy paste it to somewhere in the world that you're trying to solve the puzzle. So that's why it's cheesable, I would say. But Portal, like there is some restrictions, like you cannot like put portals in certain places and all of that. So yeah, I feel like the puzzles were designed really well, and I did like the what is it called? I did like the narrative and I did like the voice actors and all the jokes that they make. Yeah.
Good. And Luke, I think you've actually shrunk a little bit since last week. You're a little bit lower down, a little bit smaller. So maybe there's a story there. I'm going to assume probably not, but you can.
I think my camera is wider.
Right, that's what's happened. So
pull,
you haven't
back
shrunk
slightly. Yeah, no, I haven't shrunk. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm well. I'm well. I haven't shrunk.
Okay, I'm glad. I wouldn't wish that upon you. So you can either tell us something that you've been playing or go back and forth with the other two on what they've been playing. It's your choice. You've got freedom. You've got the floor.
Nice. I mostly the same as last week, apart from 007, which obviously we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, some more Forza and more Lego Batman as well. So kind of bouncing between those. Which is very enjoyable because they're very, very different, obviously, and they kind of palette cleanse each other, which is really nice. So it's the only issue is you don't really get far with either of them because I'll play Forza for a bit and then Lego Batman, but I'm not actually making tons of progress through the two. So they'll be around for a while, I think, especially with other games. But yeah, really enjoying both.
So both of those games, though, they're like fairly open-ended, and you've got kind of a choice in how you pace it and how you approach progression. So you could push through towards the finale if you want to, but do you find that you're more about exploring the openness of them and doing the side activities, or are you trying to forge on?
Yeah, Forza is like an interesting one because I just kind of picked that up with no particular goal in mind, and then I'll end up just doing like bits of stuff. So the other day I picked it up and for an hour all I did was the mascots, like just finding them. And then, there's another session where I just do like the wristband activities, right? So the races and such and various other bits. So that one's quite a nice game in a way because there's so much content, but it doesn't feel overawing at any point, I don't think. And you can just kind of do what you want to do as and when. So that's cool. Lego Batman, there is like side stuff you can do in that game, but it's not, it's not like, say, Arkham's kind of elaborate side quest stuff. It's more collectathon related or, adjacent stuff. So, you're really kind of pushing the main story more than anything when you do stuff in that game. But because that's, so enjoyable, that's great. So different things as I go into both.
And has Lego Batman, when we spoke last week, you played like an hour or two. You were playing it on its Dark Knight mode, I think you called it, like the mode for grown-ups that's supposed to push you a little bit, some sense of challenge. Has that increased at all, or is it still pretty chill?
It's still pretty chill. There are some moments where it gets a bit more challenging because they do throw a lot of enemies at you and their kind of attacks can come a little bit quicker. But for the most part, it's not challenging per se. It's just a little bit more intensive, I think, than maybe the default mode is. And you are more prone to losing life in that mode. But again, like even when you do, you've got 3 lives, so you could lose your entire health bar and then you resurrected instantly, and you've got that times 3. So it's never really a challenge. But that game's just like incredibly fun. It's so like it's very funny and so referential to all sorts of different Batman media. And I've just unlocked So the game's in chapters, and then after the end of chapter 1, you kind of unlock more of the Batcave, and your kind of abilities increase in line with that. And you can start doing things like buying different Batmobiles, and also you get more suits to wear, and there's kind of more activities that open up as well. And just some of the stuff they do in the Batcave is just really clever. And I won't spoil it, obviously, but the story is really, really fun because it, as I said last week, it's this, big hodgepodge mishmash of all sorts of different Batman stories that people have seen, but kind of spliced and moved around and done in different ways to create like a Lego Batman story. So it's really excellent. And I've actually been playing it. I think this week I played it mostly on handheld, which is quite remarkable. So it runs amazingly well on handheld. So I've been playing it on the Legion Go 2, and it looks fantastic. I've got like I'm playing it like to native res, so 1200p on the Legion Go 2, and then FSR free quality and medium settings, and I think I've got FSR frame gen on as well, but I'm getting like, you know, between sort of 60 to 80 frames in the open world, so runs amazingly. It's brilliant.
So one of those performance concerns are definitely by the wayside as far as you're concerned.
Yes. So, total nonsense. Yeah, I don't know what they were smoking when they made that spec sheet, but it doesn't bear out in reality. So,
okay, I mean that's good to know. So, I mean, Luke, do you have anything to go back with around Lego Batman, or do you want to move on to the next bit of a game?
Have you tried playing it co-op, Luke?
No, because like I think this is the only thing about the game that annoys me a little bit, actually, which is that it's very clearly designed with a bit of co-op in mind, because at all times, no matter where you are, what you're doing, you have a character with you that you can swap between. So for most of the early game, it's Batman and Jim Gordon, and the puzzles are set up in a way that some of them require two characters, right? And so that, you know, if you were playing co-op, that's pretty easy. But some of them also are they don't need two players, but they're designed around the character's different abilities. So you'll have to switch to, say, Gordon to do something and then switch back to Batman to do something else. And I don't really like that, because it kind of takes away from some of the pacing of the game. So, but I haven't, you know, I've just been playing with AI, so I haven't played it co-op. I imagine co-op's very fun, actually. But I don't know if it's just split screen co-op, or like there's some weirdness about the co-op in the game. I'm not too sure, but I'll probably give it a try at some point.
Yeah, I believe it's only split screen. Yeah.
Okay. So the puzzles that you just described, they were very in keeping with like the other kind of Lego games, in that was kind of how you progress through it. But those obviously had the more bird's eye perspective and let you share screen rather than split screen. Okay, fair enough. I've got that game and I'm gonna get on that and start streaming that. Hopefully, I was supposed to do it last week, but didn't quite get around to it. So hopefully this week I'll be getting into some of that as well. Let's move on to the other game that you've been playing. One of the ones that's a bit of a headline for this week. Done really well for itself, both in terms of critical reception and in terms of its early sales, as it were. I think they've already announced 1.5 million sales within the first 24 hours for IO Interactive's 007 game, First Light. I've suddenly had a complete mental block on what this game is, but you two have been playing it. So, because Luke's just been talking, we'll start with Amin. Amin, you've had a fair crack at this game. You said you've nearly finished it and you're possibly the best player in the world. Tell us about it. How's it going?
Yeah, I do actually. I like the game. I was not expecting to like it. I had my doubts with IO, because they do have some good games, like the new Hitman is good, but Absolution was not so good, and Ken and Lynch is meh. But I had some doubts about it. I did not want like just the Hitman as reskin, like Hitman reskin to be 007, and thankfully it's not. It's a little bit different. It has a unique style of pacing, I would say. Like it's like a little bit of espionage, like you're in a party trying to find some information, some hints, some ways to get to restricted areas because you need a VIP pass or something like that. And then later in the mission you will be in a restricted area, and you need to sneak, or you need to fight your way with like fist fights and all of that. And it's a little bit different than Hitman in ways, like it doesn't have all the freedoms of Hitman. Like you cannot just pull a gun in the party and start shooting people. You cannot do that. And if, let's say, you knock someone out, you cannot like take them and put them in the garbage or something like that. You cannot do that. Yeah, and then after you do that part with the like sneaking around and all of that, then the mission will introduce like high action sequences where you're fighting with guns and all of that, because you only get guns at certain you only get guns at certain points, and you can use them only at certain point, not all the time. And they call it the license to kill mod or something like that, where you get to kill everybody, and then there is some bombastic ending to the mission. So I do like it. It has like variety. It's not just espionage. It's not just, and each mission is a little bit different. There are like some boss fights that gets you the unique ways of fighting that boss, and yeah. So I like the diversity of the game.
Can I ask, not specifically about the game? Well, obviously we'll talk more about that. But you said you weren't particularly expecting big things from it. You didn't have that much faith in IO Interactive. You didn't necessarily like all of their previous games. What tipped you into actually buying this one then?
I saw the reviews that are good, and like people said that it's not a Hitman, it's actually different, and that's why I actually bought it. I had faith in the reviews and bought it. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's the simple answer.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Reviews serve a purpose then, as confirmed here by Amin, who follows them religiously. Luke.
And also, yeah, sorry, Luke, just one more thing. Like, the pricing in Poland is lower than anywhere else. It's like £45 on Steam, like not a discount or anything like that. So I just pre-ordered it there and bought it and played it day one. So yeah, that's one.
Fair enough. Luke, I was going to go to you because I know that you've also played a bit of 007, so I thought maybe you're best positioned to have a little back and forth with Amin on this, because I know very little about it. How are you finding the opening?
Yeah, I haven't played as much, so I've only played about 3 hours, which isn't even. So I'm just about to do, I believe, the mission that they showed off way back when they did the gameplay reveal, the big bombastic one that had like 4 frames per second at the time toward the end of that display, which thankfully I'm assured it does not now. So I'm just about to do that, but so far I'm really enjoying it. It as Amin says, it's it has like Hitman elements, as you would, the characters of Bond and Agent 47 have like some limited crossover in the way that they approach some things, but they're completely different in others, right? So what I really love about this one is you can do things like, you'll do espionage elements where you're trying to find information or you're trying to access an area. And there are different, there's not as many ways to do that as there might be in say, Hitman. But there are different kinds of ways to do that, because obviously, unlike Agent 47, Bond is actually a charmer and talks. And so you can, try and bluff your way through dialogue to different areas and or to get people to move out of your way, which is really clever. And then you can just kind of go around and do your thing. The use of gadgets is obviously like key to Bond, and they have that here. It's really, really cool, some of the early stuff that you get. The story so far has been really good as well. I don't know how it develops, but I think my wife has just finished the game, and she absolutely loved it and was kind of enraptured by the story. So I'm really interested to see how it progresses. Like the opening mission is very captivating, I think, in terms of like initial setup and all that sort of stuff. I'm just really enjoying it. It also does that, and maybe Amin will agree, it does that a training montage in the early game, where you're kind of, rather than it be video, you're like, it literally like loads a training, like different things that Bond is doing as he's training, and you get to play those things. It's quite hard to describe, but it's really clever how it loads it so quickly, and then you're playing the bit of training rather than just watching a montage. So I really like that. It's got all these very clever touches, basically. Yeah, performances are excellent. I think Patrick Gibson as Bond so far is really good. It's just a very high quality, polished, good game so far, and I'm interested. I'm excited to play more of it.
And
That's
the
interesting.
face animations and all of that face capture is really good. Like
Yeah, it's
really,
very
really
good.
good.
It's very good. Yeah. I think visually it's interesting. I don't know what you think. I mean, like it's most of the time it's a really good looking game. There are some elements that I don't find as good looking. I feel like the one disappointment for me is that path tracing isn't available at the minute, because that would completely transform a lot of the game. I think the areas that don't currently look that great would look a million times better with path tracing. So that's the only thing that is disappointing day one, because they don't have any ray tracing features in the game, really. I think they use some sort of software ray tracing in their renderer, but it's fairly low quality. So that's the only thing that I is a bit disappointed in. But most of the time it looks really nice.
And that's so that point that you made on the path tracing, though, it's not like just being picky. It's relevant because they have said that's coming down the line, right? So give it a few months, and path tracing is supposed to come out in the summer, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah.
So you've said
the visuals. Sorry, I said just about the visuals. They do, like, some places don't look as good, like they are normal. I would not say dull, but at some points, like, you go into the room and they play with lighting really well. Like they have really good lighting in that room. And those moments really look really, really good. So it will be looking really good with patch tracing.
Okay. I wasn't going to say very much at all. I was just going to say, Luke, this has been several weeks in a row now where we've talked about like a headline game or anything else, and you said that your wife's ahead of you and has already finished it or has put in like 400 hours into Crimson Desert or all the rest of it. So when's she coming on the podcast?
Well, never, I don't think, but I'll ask her.
Fair enough. Craig, you've got a lot of Bond-like charisma and charm. What do you make of all of this? Are you looking forward to the game? Are you going to get into it, or do you not care for this at all?
No, yeah, I like IO Interactive. I enjoyed the Hitman games, and I don't think it being dissimilar to Hitman in its own way is a bad thing at all. I'll give it a look. I don't know when, but I will. I might wait for the path tracer now.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Anybody else got anything else on 007? Radaz is playing it over on Twitch as well and saying agrees with basically most of what you're saying. Having a good time 4 hours in, but anything else from any of you on that one, or shall we move on to whatever topic we fancy?
I can talk just a little bit about the story. I will not spoil it, but the story is really good. I'm almost at the end. There is a lot of twists that you will encounter. I'd say that it
Spoiler.
has some.
God.
No, I will not say them. But there is twists. There is some unexpected turns. There is weird stuff. I'm not sure why did they do that. There are like a few influencers that you will see in the game.
Oh yeah,
there is 3 of them. Yeah. What's his name? That guy that does this, the Cabby or something. Yeah, he does that, and there is 2 others. Maybe I should not spoil them, but they do flex. One of the technical things they do flex is a lot of crowds. If you noticed, they have a lot of people in the room, and they are not like. Their faces look good as well. Like usually when they have something like that, the faces don't look good, but they actually do look good.
Yeah, I like the when you go to Q Lab as well, and you've got like quite a number of like there are environments with way more NPCs, but in Q Lab, like you've got all these scientists effectively like making stuff, and they're doing like their own sort of tests, and then you can go up and there are kind of unique interactions and stuff like that. So their engine's really cool at just like shoving lots of people into a place and making it feel like it's actually, they're actually doing things. So that's cool. I also really appreciate at the beginning, well, I won't spoil it, but when you get to choose a certain gadget at the beginning, that was a really cool moment, I thought, as well. So
yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, there are a few gadgets as you progress the story. They will add more gadgets, and you can choose like only 3 at the start, and then you will have a 4th one. But that allows you to replay the missions in different ways, I guess. And you have an ability to hack stuff like watchdogs to distract people. So
that reminds me as well, because there is a lot of, so you've got the campaign that you've nearly finished, your wife has finished, so presumably it's not massively long, like 12 hours or so I've heard, but it does open up the game as well. I'm not sure if you have to complete the campaign before you open up the other missions, or if it's available from the start, but it has a more Hitman-like mode, right, where you can re-explore the various areas of the game to do other objectives and have a more free-form experience, I think. So something that we'll ask you about once you've actually had a chance to play it. I will say as well, Amin said there that there are various influencers present in the game. He didn't want to spoil it and tell you who they are. I'll just clarify, it's not any of us 4. I know you're thinking like they're keeping tight lips because it's going to be us. You open, I'd be there. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, it's not any of us 4. So don't be too disappointed when you get to the end and you haven't found our beautiful mugs.
Yeah. There is one thing. Maybe we should talk about the hand-to-hand combat. How do you feel about it, Luke? Like the hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah, I mean, I've only had limited experience because of where I am in the game, but I really enjoy it because it reminds me of what was the Splinter Cell game that had
Conviction?
Conviction, yeah, and it was kind of like where you had this like brawler style. Like it's a bit Arkham, the combat, but because Bond's like improvising, it just feels like really good. Like it feels really good to me to use it. It took a bit of getting used to the controls early on, but what I really like is that you can sort of like you can grab people and you can hit them as you grab them, or you can throw them. And they did, like, at least in the bits I played, they've done really well to have that in an environment where, when you do throw them against something, like you have an environmental reaction, like you'll have like things that break or smash or that fall over, there's like real weight to everything you do. So I really, really enjoyed like the bits of combat that I've had so far, but I don't know how that plays out through the rest of the game. How do you find it? Like, 'cause you're nearly at the end, so does it continue to feel enjoyable? Does it get more annoying?
It doesn't get annoying, but sometimes it can be clumsy because it doesn't lock on like Arkham, like when you're... Because it's not like Bond is not Batman, so he's not flying from one side to the room to the other one. So you might punch like an empty space or something like that. But there is the same thing as Arkham. There is like a yellow flash means that you can parry it. The red flash, like in the screen, it means that you need to dodge it. And there is sometimes someone that pulls a gun and you need to dodge it as well. And yeah, it's good. You can also use some parts of the environment. You can throw at them like a mug or I don't know, a wrench or something like that. And yeah, about the destruction, there is like if you are in cover, like I did not see this. And I did not see a lot of the trailers, but there is a lot of destruction. Like when you are at cover, you cannot just stay there. Like most of the time, that cover can be destroyed with guns, and it's actually very quick. And you also don't get a lot of like ammo, so you will be on the move all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so not a stop and pop shooter. That's good. Let's talk about Rocket League, or more specifically, there was a Rocket League tournament or esports event or something or other that happened during the week, but it included a surprise announcement of an update to Rocket League It's being rebuilt on Unreal Engine 6. So that's the debut reveal of the new version of the Unreal Engine. Craig, did you see any of this? Do you have any thoughts on this flashy new edition of the Unreal Engine?
I thought it was a joke at first, like genuinely, because Unreal Engine 5 seems to not be without its problems. And I thought, oh, so what's 6 going to be like then, when this is not exactly a polished experience, as I understand it? Not having game dev chops, I don't want to say.
This is why we like you, Craig. This is like, there will be plenty of people out there who would say, oh, Unreal Engine 5 has these issues with no first-hand experience at all, except that they've played some games that they didn't like. But you're willing to say, hey, I'm not the person that knows everything about it. This is my opinion. Perfect, spot on. That's what we need. But that is a shared sentiment. A lot of people have immediately seen this footage, responded going, oh, Unreal Engine 6, but Unreal Engine 5 is causing problems. We're going to get stutter hell all over the place and all these other kind of concerns. Unreal Engine 5 is a massive, like Unreal Engine has for a long time been a massive player in the industry, in development across all kinds of studios. And there has irrefutably been a lot of Unreal Engine 5 releases that have had issues over the last few years. So it has taken some people by surprise to see that we're moving on to version number 6 before all of these issues have and all of these kinks have been ironed out from number 5. But perhaps that is the reason for the labeling. Perhaps this reputation has kind of got ahead of Epic, and they've decided we need a bit of a clean slate here. Let's go for a number 6 and see if we can get people back on board. Luke, you're quite a nerd. You're a nerd. You play games and you're very particular about visuals, about frame pacing, about stutter and all these kind of things. You've had issues with Unreal Engine 5 across the various releases as well. What did you think of this reveal of Unreal Engine 6?
Yeah, I was quite surprised. Well, I was surprised in one way, probably not in another. I think it probably makes sense to announce it to some extent to try and get away from some of the negative sentiment around UE5. I actually think UE5 is a lot better now than it was, certainly a few years ago, but it's still not without significant problems. Mainly, as everyone knows, is the stutter issue, which is like, I mean, I really envy the people that aren't susceptible to that because and like don't notice it that much, because it sticks out so sorely for me when a game starts stuttering, and it does. I wouldn't say it ruins the game, but it impacts my enjoyment of it. Games are getting better now. I think UE5's on 5.7, which is the current version. So a few games will be using that in the next year or two. So I think, it's just, we don't know anything about UE6 really. I think from what we've seen, it's not really it's not going to be like a jump in terms of feature set from say UE4 to UE5, where UE5, was a big leap in terms of introducing nanite and metahuman and VSMs and all that sort of stuff. So it's not going to be that. It seems like it's more a bit of a repackage, and there will be new features, but they, maybe they're focusing more on getting a better experience with the engine overall for developers, and then consequently for players as well. So I guess we'll see what it turns out to be in due course. But just the big litmus test for me is going to be when we see something like The Witcher 4. Because that is a hugely ambitious, massive open world game, the likes of which UE5 has not really taken on yet, and CDPR have been working with Epic, in sort of building on the engine to accommodate this type of thing. So how will that work? When it comes to it. So I think we'll get a better idea of if CDPR have been able to fix some of the or kind of mitigate some of the fundamental issues of UE5 when that game comes out. But it's a weird engine because it's it can produce some spectacular looking games, and visuals aren't really a problem with it. It's all the other stuff. It's like the performance stuff that's a problem with UE5. But hopefully 6 will fix some of those.
Yeah, and like you say there, we don't actually know a lot about it besides the logo being purple and it being used for Rocket League. you do get the impression that Unreal Engine 5 has this suite of features, like we were just saying, like Lumen and Nanite and all the rest of it, and hardware hadn't necessarily caught up to make the very best of it yet. So Unreal Engine 5 has been getting gradually more efficient with each release that they've had, and they've made these things more performant, but you still get the impression that the hardware wasn't quite at the level that the engine could fully leverage, right? And Unreal Engine 6, it's hard to imagine that they're going to be pushing things like lighting and detail much further than they already do. So just given the way that the industry moves at the moment, my expectation would be that the main features of it are going to be like generative AI. And like, really, that's not even, oh, what's the word? I'm not trying to be like cynical, but really that's the direction that things are moving. Like Unity's already got generative AI in beta at the moment for the engine. Unreal Engine's got to be doing it. The versioning, the big feature, I'll be surprised if it's not something along those lines, but we'll find out. From what we've seen though, it does nicer grass for Rocket League and it makes the cars a bit more shiny. I mean, I assume that you've seen this and you've checked it out. What do you think of what we've had so far?
I don't think we need it. Just stick to Unreal. Well, even I don't like Unreal Engine. I don't like that everybody is trying to migrate to Unreal Engine. I like it when developers use their own engine, like id Software has their own engine. Like the IO Interactive, they made James Bond look good and perform good because of their own engine and Playground and all of that. I understand some of the benefit that it comes with, but I don't think we need to move to Unreal Engine 6. I think like developers still need some time to master Unreal Engine 5. It got better, like Luke said, because Unreal Engine 5.0 is like a beta, and like 5.2 and all of those got better performance. And I don't think we should be moving to Unreal Engine 6. Apparently, it's the big thing that they want to do with Unreal Engine 6 is their verse scripting, which is a way they share content between Fortnite and the other experiences inside Fortnite. Because Tim Sweeney talked a lot last year with what's his name, Lex Friedman, or about Unreal Engine 6, and I think Rocket League might be an integrated experience inside Fortnite. The other thing, I don't know why they're doing this to Rocket League. I'm not a Rocket League player. I'm not in the community, but Rocket League is an esport game. You want 600 FPS, not 60 FPS. Why would you upgrade the graphics like this? I'm not sure. Hopefully it is optimized, because these esports games need really, really high FPS. So
that's an interesting take, though, in general, because you could argue that Fortnite is an esports game and Overwatch is an esports game and all of these kind of things. But does that mean that they would be wise to neglect the more casual audience that also engage with these games? So Rocket League has a massive audience. Should they say it's an esport, therefore let's make everything look like a potato, run at 600 frames per second, and sod the people that just want a bit more visual fidelity?
It looks fine. Have you ever looked at Rocket League and said, wow, I want this game to look even better? It's been running on Unreal Engine 3, I think, all this time.
Yeah, it's currently Unreal Engine 3. And, I love Rocket League. I think it's brilliant. I'm not massively good at it, but I think it's pretty much perfect as a multiplayer game. And I don't see a visual overhaul really being much of an improvement, because it is not a game that you particularly play for its visual charm or whatever. Plus my weird fish car is already perfect, so I don't need it to be any better. But it was just a curious point. They should make it an esports game and fuck everybody else, because you could apply the same logic to quite a lot of other games, and I'm not sure they necessarily should. Let the esports players potato the visuals if they want to, and let everybody else have nice pretty grass. Craig, what would you favor if you're playing a game competitively? Visuals high, get the best visual experience and joy from that, or would you go competitive and like you're playing I don't know, an Apex Legends and you turn down all the settings because then you can see people in the bushes better and things like that? What direction would you typically take as a competitive player?
I don't think there's anything I could do to a game to give me any noticeable advantage at all. So I'd rather it looked pretty while I was getting killed.
Fair enough. I mean, I used to play Quake 3 Arena, and these were different times. And you'd open up the console and you'd be putting in these weird commands to literally strip the textures out of the game, so that everything was like flat, plain, clear, high contrast, ran amazingly, and you could pick out your opponents, and it was basically cheating in a sense. But you did it, and it was beautiful. But at some point in time, I went, actually, I'm not winning anyway. Give me my textures back. Luke, what's more important to you?
Yeah, I'm probably in Craig's boat, to be honest. Like, just give me the prettier visual. Like, as long as it doesn't cripple performance, I'd rather have the prettier visuals, you know?
So what if you were like a hypothetical, I don't know marathon, but you've played a bit of marathon recently. Say there was a setting in there to just strip the textures away, and like it distinctly made it easier to see your opponents, but it made the game ugly. Where would you sit? Because
because like as long as I can get like on an FPS, for example, on PC, like if I can get 120, 144, right? And I can push that and it looks great. I don't feel like I don't need any other advantage than keyboard and mouse and 120, 144 FPS. For me personally, like anything above that is just like I don't have the skill to take advantage of that. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to benefit anymore from like weird potato settings, and I wouldn't want it anyway because it takes away from the art of the game, and I still want to see the game. You know what I mean? So so I wouldn't go for those personally.
Oh, and I mean, actually, this is a good example because you're a Counter-Strike player, and Counter-Strike famously has this thing where people play with the wrong screen ratio to get a competitive advantage, to make the targets a bit wider. Do you do that, or do you keep things how they're supposed to look?
So it's not, let's make it clear, it's not a competitive advantage. Some people just like because when you put it on 4:3 like ratio and then you stretch it, like the movement of the players, like it's faster because like 1 pixel moving right is like
but they're doing it for an advantage in their own playstyle, aren't they? Like you can argue like it's not actually an advantage because it's that or the other, but they're doing it because they want better target acquisition, right? Not because they think it looks better.
It's not actually an advantage because some people do it, some people don't. I don't do the 4:3. I tried it, but it's a bit too fast. I don't like the how fast it is, and also you don't see. You lose like part of the screen, like you don't see the sides and all of that. So,
in essence, anyways, you would make it ugly to give yourself an advantage. Like you did try. See if I'm better with an ugly game.
People do make it ugly to play with, not an advantage. Not an advantage. They do play it on ugly settings.
Yeah,
they. They seek an advantages in FPS, I guess. It's harder to see like an enemy in 4K because like they are smaller in a 4K screen if they are far away. But if you make it a little bit, let's say 1080p, 1080p is usually the maximum for pro players in Counter-Strike. It's a little bit easier to hit and see, but anybody can put it on those settings. Like it's not like removing walls or anything like that. But I am the opposite of all of you. I do actually play Counter-Strike on 1080p, even on a 5090.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought as much. And like I said, on Quake 3, I used to strip the textures off. I used to make all of my opponents a particular character that had loud footsteps and was illuminous green. Like I've been there. I know what it means. And yeah, it was a hell of a fun time. So no criticism from me. I was just curious. Shall we talk about the Steam Deck and the Steam hardware that's coming? and the horrendous price increase that Valve have had to inflict upon us this week. Not really inflicting it upon me because I've got no intention of buying a Steam Deck, but the OLED Steam Decks have had a quite drastic price increase this week of like 40%, I think. From what were the prices? I mean, you've written them down somewhere. It's gone from what to what?
So this is the thing that I'm not sure about. I think it's in the US and some other places, but I'm gonna say the US prices. So the 1 terabyte OLED has gone from $649 to $949. So that's a $300 increase. And the 512 model went from $549 to $789. That's a lot. That's a $240 increase. That's a lot.
Yes, it is. It is a lot, yeah. And it's obviously we've seen a whole lot of price increases across the industry in general. Anyone selling any hardware with any kind of memory in it has suffered this. The Switch has gone up, PlayStation's gone up, the Xbox has gone up. Steam are a relatively small player in hardware, like not putting them down in any way whatsoever, but they don't have massive purchasing power the likes of like Nintendo or the rest of it because they're just not selling in that kind of bulk and scale. And it has hit them hard and they put the price up. And as I said, for Sony and Xbox and Nintendo, there's not an executive in the room that wants to increase the price in this way. It is something kind of inflicted upon them and upon us. And you can say like, I think Tim Sweeney had a pop at them saying like it's components for their mega yachts and all the rest of it. Fair. I'm not like waving the corporate flag or anything, but prices are a problem. Luke, were you shocked by this one? You've got a Steam Deck and a Lenovo and other bits of hardware. Did this surprise you? Is there any way that you could recommend a Steam Deck at its new price?
No, not at all. Like, not at all. And I love, like, I've got the Steam Deck OLED. I bought it when it released. And I love it. I think it's awesome to this day. It's still a great device, but it is, you know, it's however many years old hardware now that's got, you know, a lot more expensive. I think if it was like a $50, $75 increase, you know, across the 512 and the 1 terabyte versions, then it wouldn't be as bad. And I think it would be received generally better because I think everybody does understand that Valve, like, they don't have the same scale, you know, economies of scale, bulk kind of buying power that like a Microsoft or a Sony or a Nintendo have because they make far less devices. So obviously that it's gonna hit them. And it, you know, as rich as Valve are, as wealthy as that company is, generally, like, they're not just going to take like huge losses on things that they sell quite a bit of, because the Steam Deck is still, you know, really the best seller in terms of you know, these PC handhelds, right? So, and it has been for quite some time. So I understand why they've raised prices, but the price raise is obscene. I mean, it's an obscene uplift on what it was when it launched. So I just don't, like, you can't, the problem, well, I mean, there's a couple of devices that have also had this kind of ridiculous lift. So the Legion Go 2 has had an outrageous price uplift. I think like the Z2E version in the US is $2,000 now.
Do you remember what it was?
$1,200 or something like that.
I think it was 15.
Was it 15? Okay, yeah. It might have been.
It's still high.
It's still like, I think it's £1,800 now in the UK, and I think at launch in the UK it was $1,100. So you know, huge price uplift. So really, actually, the big winner out of this is probably the Ally, because that's like more expensive than the Steam Deck, but much cheaper than like a Legion Go 2 or some other devices. And it's more, you know, more powerful than the Steam Deck as well. So it's more capable of playing more modern games. So that's probably the winner out of all of this. But it's just getting to a point where, you know, PC handheld hardware is becoming obscenely unaffordable for most people. You know, to the point where I'm sure, like, Lenovo's Legion Go 2, like the sales have probably collapsed for that. They probably don't sell many of those at all, and they probably don't manufacture any of them. And I would expect that the Steam Deck will be kind of the same. They probably won't sell a lot more of them now. So, yeah. And it just as a final point, it doesn't bode well for the Steam machine at all.
Yeah. No, indeed. And that's what I was going to get to next. But just on that, you mentioned the Ally there, and I would suggest Asus are not a company that keep things cheap either. So I would think as soon as their current stock is gone, you can expect a similar kind of increase there. So if you are on the fence and you're looking at a PC handheld thinking, I'd love to have one of those, I'll take it on holiday, I'll take it to work, it'll be a great device for me. Time might be running out. Like, I'm not a salesman. I'm not trying to push you into doing anything reckless, but it's probably going to go up like $300 or $400 in a month's time or something. Like, seems reasonable to expect, right? Craig, do you prefer prices to be really high, or would you like them to be lower?
Oh, yeah. I love a high price.
There's not, like, obviously we don't, right? There's not much that you can say about it. Like, It sucks that hardware prices are going up. And across the industry, so you've got all this talk going on of, like, Xbox's Helix and the PlayStation 6 and PlayStation's handheld and all the rest of it. You kind of get the impression they all need to take a beat, like, step back, breathe a little while, let the market sort its shit out. And if it doesn't happen, then just give up and go home, right? That's a question, Craig. It's not really a question, but
the panic. But I was thinking about what Luke said when we was talking about the PlayStation 6 and we were having the exclusivity conversation. You can see the panic, can't you? That they know that they're going to need to try to sell hardware, not just Sony, everybody. They're going to try to sell the next generation of hardware, and they know that it's going to be pricing people well out now. And so they're thinking, well, what do we do? And so Sony's gone, right, exclusives have always sold consoles. That's what we need to do. And Xbox is left sat on the fence, not having a clue what they want to do about it.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it is just a mess. Like, it's, I was going to say I don't envy their position having to make these decisions, but actually, no, I'd love to be in charge of like Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo or any of them, really. So I do envy their position. I was going to say I don't, but I do. I'd love to be there. But it is difficult. I just pause, I would say. That's all I've got, and hope that I've heard some stories that maybe there's like new Chinese supplies of memory that might help stabilize the market and things like that. Like, cross your fingers and hope that someone injects a load of stuff or AI collapses big time and some memory becomes available. Let's talk about...
Wait. Just about that thing.
Yeah.
About the price. Like, I'm not sure. Let's say there is this Chinese, I don't know, manufacturers making RAM and all of that. Are they going to reduce the price after this? Like, I don't know if they will go to the old prices. That's
not necessarily the old prices, but it depends because it is an issue of supply and demand, isn't it? Right, there is just too much demand because of these big AI data centers taking all of the memory, and OpenAI saying we want 60% of the world's memory for the next 10 years or something stupid like that. So just having more on the market has to help, right?
To may stop the prices from raising, but I don't know if they will go down much. I don't know if they want to go down.
I think they will, if only because once manufacture keeps up with demand, once it matches it, and maybe demand will slowly taper off from, say, big AI data centers for a bit, because they'll have all they need for a while. The problem is then that the primary customers for this sort of stuff will probably mostly be consumer-facing product people, companies that make consumer products that have RAM and NVMe SSDs and all that sort of stuff. And if they keep the prices as high as they are and just say, actually, we'll see what we can do, they're not going to have the flow through demand is going to be much lower anyway, because consumers will not be able to afford these prices. They might people might save up for, like, say, one console or one piece of equipment, but they can't buy multiple, and it's just too expensive. So eventually they'd have to drop prices, because nobody's going to buy this stuff. Nobody's going to be able to afford to buy this stuff. I think right now people are in a situation where it's really expensive, and sales are starting to go down with a lot of these, devices, but people are still willing to kind of get something, but they're going to hold on to what they get for a lot longer now. So, they'll be way less inclined to upgrade or buy another device, or, branch out or do something else. So I think they will stabilize and they will come down. In fact, RAM prices have generally come down. The problem is that's coincided with NVMe demand going massively up, and those prices going up as well. So the kind of stress on the component chain generally is just like this all the time. So but it's like a tough place for everyone to be, because people who depend on selling hardware are going to have an even more difficult job selling it to consumers at prices that typically they've not been confronted with. So
yeah, well, let's hope that it happens quickly. It's difficult as well, because particularly on the console side of things, like, the issue that they've had this generation is they committed to a certain hardware spec and then watched the markets change and increase the prices over time. So what I really wouldn't like to see is the next generation of like the next wave of hardware, call it consoles or whatever else, to skimp on memory because of this hopefully temporary issue, and then kind of handicap the generation for like 8 years or whatever. But we shall see, because it is tricky.
Well,
cool.
Yeah, that's the issue with next gen. So there is already leaks about what they will contain as like memory, and I think the PS6 is supposed to have 32 gigabytes of RAM, DDR7. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Sony is planning to make that lower than $1,000. How? I don't know. And
I mean,
the
realistically,
Helix
though,
is even more.
Like, the PS5 Pro is like $900, isn't it? So if they were to release a new console today, it has to be more powerful than that. It's not going to be cheaper than that. So it is just looking expensive right now. Take a breath and wait. Let's have a look at... I'm going to start with you on this one, Craig, because you're new to being back on the social medias. On social media this week, some Xbox fans got a little bit upset when Matt Booty did an interview. I can't remember who did the interview with. It's very disrespectful of me not to find out. But Matt Booty did an interview where he's confirmed for people that at the upcoming Xbox showcase, they're going to be very transparent about what platforms their games are coming to, and they're going to include logos for scary boogeymen like the PlayStation 5 if the game is going to the PlayStation 5, or the Switch and all the rest of it. There was some pushback on the social medias from people that were upset by this revelation. They don't want to see a PlayStation logo at an Xbox showcase, and they let the Xbox leadership team know that they won't stand for it. They're very unhappy. It should be all about Xbox. Xbox's most senior executive, Asher Sharma, responded on Twitter to say, "We hear you. I own this mistake. We'll try and correct it in future," or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Craig, what do you make of this little back and forth, this interaction, this blasphemous positioning of PlayStation logos on an Xbox showcase?
Well, the delicate line that this parasocial relationship takes there.
Whoa,
she's been saying all the right things. She's been saying all the right things for so long, and changed the Xbox name, and then, whoa, no, what have you done? She's made an enemy of everybody.
Well, she's best friends with them again now, because she's bowed to their will.
Yeah, because she owned the mistake, yeah. Ooh, 4D chess, you say? Was it all set up for this in the first place?
What do you reckon, though? So, straight face, PlayStation logos, Switch logos at the Xbox showcase. Is it something that we should care about?
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it is coming to them whether they put the logo there or not. It makes it only slightly harder for people to find out where it's going to be releasing. I suppose you could make, like, for people that are in the trenches, they know anyway. But for Xbox's part, if it's the Christmas season for gamers, if they want to, they know more eyes are going to be on them at this time. They want to sell more software. They don't care where they sell it. Why wouldn't they let everybody know that it's available on PlayStation and Nintendo, as well?
So the thing that people pick up on, though, and rightly so, is that if you watch like Sony's State of Play and they've got a multi-platform game there, like Final Fantasy VII Part 3 is there or something like that, they're absolutely not going to say anything about that coming to Xbox at any point in time. Right. And Sony, for the longest time, even in like their financials and things that were like quite serious business, they would not use the word Xbox anywhere throughout. It was always like competitor devices, and they just wouldn't say it. Like, we don't breathe that here. We don't talk about our competitors. And corpo point of view, like from that perspective, that might make sense. Like, it's reasonable to sit there from the Xbox perspective and say we shouldn't talk about these competitors because we just don't want to draw attention to that. For me, consumer perspective, the people that are getting all like uppity about it, you want as much information as possible. So I find it very strange, the argument in favor of the corporation instead of the user, like end users saying, I don't want to know that this is coming to PlayStation. That's a strange kind of angle for me personally. But Luke, what do you reckon to it?
I was just going to say, it shows you where they're at, though, doesn't it? I mean, of course, like you said there, PlayStation absolutely will not do that. Nintendo absolutely would not do that. Show a logo. They sell hardware, and they sell hardware very well, and they know they do, and they've got a lot to lose if they do it the other way, whereas Xbox have already lost. They're already not selling hardware. If they, like, them not showing a logo isn't suddenly going to make people run out and buy their console when people already know that they're selling their games on other consoles now. So, I mean, granted, if they do want to start claiming people back and they are going to move more to exclusives, then of course they're going to have to start doing something at some point. They are, absolutely, but at the moment they're trying to balance the books out the one way or another. So
yeah, and I mean, from what we understand, like the expectation for the showcase that's coming up, so the one that's on whatever day next week it is, will have logos, will be very apparent to everyone where these games are releasing, which, like I say, personally, that suits me. I'd like to know where I can get these games. But Luke, what do you reckon to this whole thing?
I mean, it's it's interesting. I can kind of see some of the rationale for people not wanting to see logos, but in the other way, I can't, because really, what I think the bigger issue for people, it's not about the logos. I don't think it's about exclusivity. It's about, like, the people want games, the hardcore, or not. I'm not going to speak for all Xbox, fans here, but I think,
say it, Luke. The hardcore want VR.
They want VR. They want it to be exclusive to Xbox. They want exclusives on the platform, right? And so the issue is not about logos, I don't think. Subconsciously, I think it's because it shows that they're bringing these games to other platforms. So I think that's kind of one. I think people need to try and divorce those two things. I do understand the argument around, they shouldn't be showing, and let's ignore, I think, the third-party ones for a second, because I know PlayStation, obviously, for third-party also don't show any other logos other than PlayStation or PC. But, for Microsoft's first party, I think while they're still being multi-platform, they have to show logos? Like, don't they want people to buy the games? And shouldn't people want the games to be bought so that the studios are successful no matter what the platform is? Like, if they're already coming to other platforms, then why would you not show them, show that it's going to a PlayStation 5 or a Switch 2 or whatever? That's just, it would just be stupid to do that if you were in Microsoft's position and not try and get people to pick up the game no matter where they're at. So there's kind of like this, weird interlinking of these issues that's going on that people, don't really like, I don't think. But, I don't, as you said, Asa, like, I don't really understand the perspective of, like, well, I don't want to see the logo. but you already know it's coming to, everybody kind of knows, like, if a game on the PlayStation Showcase, for example, not one of Sony's first party games, but a third party game, most of the time, because you're the hardcore, you will know if it's on another platform or not. Like, you'll either know that going in, or you'll know that within like 1 minute of searching online. And really, it's the hardcore that watch these shows anyway. Like, they're the ones invested in these platforms, in these games. So if you're thinking, well, logos shouldn't be shown because it will help them sell more hardware, well, I don't really think that's the case, because it's not as if casuals are going to tune into the Xbox Showcase on Sunday, or the PlayStation State of Play on Tuesday night or whatever. So there's like a lot of different like things to think about with it. My view is I don't care at all. Like, it doesn't really bother me. But obviously it wouldn't bother me. So I don't know. It's just very. It's a strange ask, I think, from people not to see logos. If the game is coming to another place, then if it's there, if it's shown, then I don't really see an issue with that. But like, I understand the view of, well, Sony doesn't do it, and nor does Nintendo. But equally, they're not publishing their games on other platforms. If that changes for Microsoft, that logo stuff would change as well, right? So.
Yeah, so Timper21 has just said as well, asked the question in chat, brings up a great point. What business is Xbox currently in, publisher or platform? And I noticed Craig responded there to say that they're a publisher, which is quite interesting, because for me, I absolutely think that Xbox will remain a platform and fully intend to remain a platform. They are a publisher as well. They are playing both angles there, but I think they'll fight tooth and nail to remain a platform, to be a platform. Yeah. And that's where the exclusivity conversation gets more interesting, rather than this whole like, oh, please Asher, can we roleplay that you're doing exclusive games just for a night? Just pretend for me, please, Asher. Kind of angle that we've got going on Twitter at the moment. But they've always had, like, being a platform is massively valuable, and Microsoft, everything that they do is about being a platform. They're not just a publisher that's going to put multi-platform games everywhere and that's the end of it, because that's just not where the value is for them. They get money for that and they'll do that, but they're absolutely going to fight tooth and nail to be a relevant platform, because they also want to get money on V-Bucks and Robux and every third-party bit of software that gets released. So the platform thing, like, I think people are mistaken in thinking that Microsoft are moving away from that in any sense whatsoever, or ever have been under Phil Spencer or otherwise. Like, that's my opinion on it anyway. But I mean, I'm gonna have a little rant about some of this in a minute. But yeah, what do you think of what we've seen over the last couple of days on this?
So personally, I don't care about the logos, but I want to say first, this is the problem with opening your mouth as an Xbox executive and saying, oh, we're going to do maybe exclusives and all of that. This is what I mean by it will bite them, because people will not read in between the lines. Like, they will not read that we're evaluating. We're not doing it. We're just evaluating. We're seeing our options. So, and also, so how do I say this? It not showing logos kind of works sometimes. One example is, I think, Hogwarts Legacy. That's one sold a lot of PlayStations, and it was available on platforms, all platforms, but I don't know if people will tune in to the casuals will tune in into an Xbox showcase. Xbox is not the first thing that you think about when someone thinks about when you ask them about games like a casual. It's probably PlayStation. So yeah, that's people want these people that are asking for the logos to be removed. They want Microsoft to sell a lot of consoles. They are fans, super fans that want the console to sell more. There are reasons why you want that. You want the console to continue and all of that, to continue support on the consoles. But I don't think Microsoft is going that way. They need to sell their games everywhere. to make money. They already saw that they are making a lot of money from Forza in other, not Forza 6, Forza 5 in other consoles. I don't think they will remove exclusives. So yeah, I think Xbox, like you guys said, they are like a publisher, but also has a platform, but they are going the publisher way more. So that's what I would say.
Fair enough. So I will clarify as well, when I say that they're going to fight tooth and nail to be a platform, I'm not talking about the console specifically, including everywhere else where they are a platform. So that's Game Pass, and that's their silly PC store and all the rest of it. So for me, the thing that stands out in all of this as like, it kind of gets my back up a little bit, is that it's a direct response and affirmation to a small group of people on Twitter. And that's a mistake of a way to run a company. So it's right for an executive to try and meet fans where they are, try and please them, try and deliver for them, try and keep that hardcore fan base satisfied with what you're going with. But I'm going to harken back to the earlier days of Phil Spencer, when he came out and he gave us the Xbox One X, which was a massive improvement that console fanboys were demanding. But the things that Phil Spencer did for fans, so backwards compatibility, that's one. Fans did not demand backwards compatibility in the way that he delivered it. Cross-play across other consoles and things, fans did not demand that at all whatsoever. Smart delivery and free upgrades, things like that. Fans did not demand that. There'll be some people that did, that say, I love that. But key to it is that there's an awful lot of people that look at these features and love them after the fact, right? Quick resume. Nobody asked for quick resume. Nobody even had the concept of quick resume. Once it's delivered, they loved it. The executive's job for me isn't to listen to fans directly in that way and say, oh, you don't like logos, we'll take the logos away. It's to know what fans are actually going to love and do it, to actually have that vision yourself, because you don't want a company or a brand to be led by people on Twitter. And when you ask them if you want this obnoxious capital letter, like, we're Xbox, and we're going to take away logos, like, please, this is such a step back from where we were. For me, this is just like...
Should have some, like, conviction about it, right? Just be, you know, like... Yeah, exactly, yeah. Just it's not even... I think the worst... that's a bad point to me, and I totally agree. The worst point was how quickly that reply came out. You know, wasn't it this, like, within... an hour, 2 hours,
I believe.
Yeah, like it was like the video came out, it disseminated online around the logos, and then Asher Sharma replies to someone, and it's like, well, at least why not wait until after the showcase, you know, and see, because invariably, and people will, if the showcase is really good, which I expect it to be, people won't really care as much about this point because they will have just seen a really good showcase. They'll be thinking about all these amazing looking games, and it would probably simmer down, and then they could actually internally go and like evaluate, you know, should we do that next time we do a showcase or a direct or whatever, right? So I just don't see the benefit of coming out an hour later and going, our bad, sorry, got it wrong.
Yeah, owning a mistake that isn't necessarily a mistake at all is a strange choice, right?
It's just, exactly, yeah. Like, it's not, for them in their current position, it is not a mistake to show logos because, yes, they are a platform holder, but they're trying to sell games on other platforms as well. So they should be showing if it's coming to another platform, because we should all want games to sell and do well, because if they don't, the studios are fucked, right? So, it's just, it's just weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
You think Asher Sharma's social media team realizes that they're pandering to the loud minority online, that they don't speak for everybody, that most people don't care?
I mean, it's a fair question. You'd think so, right? You think that they're well aware that they need to. And to be fair, right, this is all quite superficial. It is just social media happenings, and they're just saying things to that crowd specifically and directly. So really, the proof is going to be in the pudding, and we'll see what actions they take and what they do deliver. But it's not like a circus that I enjoy. It's all I can say when I see it happening. I'm like, this isn't that endearing.
No,
really.
it has my return to social media. I do find myself cringing on a daily basis a lot more now
Well,
than
that's
I
just
used
looking
to.
at my posts, though, right?
What do you think about this like exclusivity thing and like having the logos? I think like you cannot have Game Pass. Like Game Pass will improve, or the games that go into Game Pass will be way better if you have them in other platforms, because like that money will be used to develop new games and like make new games, big new games, and put them into Game Pass. So I don't think you can like not show the logos and not like go all exclusive on Xbox and like have Game Pass at the same time, because if you do exclusivity, which we did talk about like a few weeks ago, like people will just go and buy a Game Pass instead of buying the game, and
Yeah.
you will not get a lot of money. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like having games on
that's an
other
awesome point. Because
Yeah,
I've thought
having
that for a
games.
while. But
Yeah, go ahead. Can I?
no, go on. Sorry.
Yeah,
Fight.
having games on other having games on other platform will bring like cash flow to Xbox to make better games. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because Game Pass is for a long time since Xbox games have been going multi-platform, Game Pass has been its unique selling point. It's that's the value proposition. But like you say, it's not going to be supported well with just purely exclusive games on Xbox. Everyone's going to have a Game Pass subscription, so that price will go up. Yeah.
They're in a bit of a pickle, really, because as you say, like they, if they do go exclusive, then, well, putting aside whether it would actually attract people to the platform, but let's say it does, is it a net benefit to them against, selling their games elsewhere? And if they do come to the platform, if they subscribe to Game Pass, is that better than just, for a month or 2 months or whatever? Is that better than just selling the game on another platform or on their own platform? So it's a bit, they've got to thread that needle very carefully, I think, especially because Game Pass, although it hasn't, they admitted the other week that it hadn't grown very well and their subscriber attrition wasn't very good recently, it's still a big recurrent source of revenue for them. So and they've max kind of tapped out the Xbox console platform for it as well. Like the growth has all been coming from PC. Mm-hmm. So it's you don't like, if they start messing with Game Pass in terms of day one games, that is going to hemorrhage. People will fall off that very quickly, and then that becomes an issue if they don't consequently start picking up their games, buying them. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough situation, I think.
Yeah, and you said that they've got like a needle to thread, all right? They've got to thread that needle, and they've got to thread it quickly, because the downside of being as big as they are now, and they are feckin' huge now in terms of studios and personnel, is their operating costs are sky high. So they need to thread that needle quickly. And on that, Asher Sharma has said, apparently, I don't know who was briefed and who wasn't, but an internal memo suggesting that difficult decisions are on the way. It's the first hint of negativity from Xbox camp since the leadership change. Difficult decisions are on the way. Craig, are you scared? Yeah. What's like the worst case? What are these difficult decisions? What are we going to suffer? Who's going to suffer?
Well, who's going to suffer? And it could run the gamut from anything from thousands laid off, which obviously doesn't affect us so much, but sucks. And the difficult decision might be something as mundane as, well, we don't want to upset people online and we don't know what to do about logos. So pick your poison. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you reckon? I mean, is this? I mean, it is fairly ominous, right? Difficult decisions is just by its nature, like there are consequences on their way. How do you feel about that?
I do think there is a possibility that they will have a lot of layoffs. Or the other thing that they can do is like shut down Game Pass. I don't know, one of those two that they will do if they decide to. I don't know. I'm not sure, but there might be layoffs. I think that's what they mean. Layoffs and studios that are small that they needed at the start of the Game Pass, like introduction, which is like compulsion games and stuff like that. They might like get rid of those because they don't maybe need them anymore. I feel like those were acquired at first because they wanted some smaller studios, so they make smaller games for Game Pass. But now they have too many studios, and they might get rid of something like that.
Okay, and I mean, obviously, we don't know what these difficult decisions entail, but what do you reckon's happening, Luke?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think worst case scenario is layoffs, studio closures and stuff. That seems the most obvious bad news omen that they could give. I think Game Pass is fine for now. Like, I don't think they'll do much with it. I think they need a lot more data and kind of to try some stuff before they start maybe doing stuff with Game Pass. And they'll need to see anyway what the recent price cut does for them. Like, will that help? So yeah, my primary fear is just studio closures, right? Particularly from the studios that are not studios that will have big sellers, right? So I mean, they're the obvious ones, but you know that would be really, really crap because a lot of those studios are really good and produce great stuff, and nobody wants them to disappear. So
yeah, I mean, when an executive says that there's hard decisions coming, it always smells of layoffs, doesn't it? It smells of like they're going to close Double Fine or something horrific like that. But we can, we just have to wait and see. There's nothing we can do to influence it, really, is there? So it is what it is. Let's move on to happier news, shall we? We're going to get, after a decade and a little bit more because it's not coming out yet, we're going to get more Witcher 3 content. I mean, you love The Witcher 3. How excited are you for this Songs of the Past DLC that's just been announced for The Witcher 3?
I played it for 1 hour twice and stopped playing it. That's how much I played Witcher 3. It's not like that. It's not like it's not like I dislike it. I actually am interested in it, but the problem that I have, it will sound silly because I just played Crimson Desert, but it's a long game, and I heard that it gets better after like 40 hours or something like that.
Who told you that? Witcher 3 doesn't get better after 40 hours. It's freaking awesome from start to finish. You suck.
Yeah, maybe I suck, but yeah, I'm actually interested in it. I think it has. I don't know a lot. Like, I did not see a lot of gameplay. I played just a little bit. From what I understand, you are like doing kind of detective work thing in a supernatural fantasy world, right? Is it like you're trying to find these beasts that you take down or something like that?
You might like the base Witcher games more than you realize, if that is appealing to you. But so what is it? What actually put you off of it in the first place?
No, it's just that I heard that it's a long game. That's why I was not ready to play such a long game. So I look at Cyberpunk and I see that it takes maybe 27 hours to finish, and I say, no, not the time for that. But when I see a game that is like 10 hours or something like that, I say, yeah, that's the game I want to play next. So it's mostly how much time it takes. It's not that I dislike it or anything like that.
I mean, you've told me in the past that you're not massively drawn to kind of fantasy games and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But the rest of us are, because we're more correct than you. Craig,
Yes.
History with the Witcher games?
Initially, it was a bit like I played it when it first dropped on Game Pass, and bounced off it before I'd even done the first fight in the first area. Like, I don't know what's going on. Why do I need to craft potions, craft bombs? Like, what am I doing? And I walked away, and then COVID happened, and I thought, right, everybody says this is amazing. I'm going to see what the fuss is about, and I'm going to stick with it this time. And I did. And yeah, I spent like 6 months just playing it while I was sat at home. And it's incredible. It's amazing. It made me love CDPR.
It made a lot of people, to be fair. They had a cult following around them, CDPR, before the third game came out, but that's the one that blew it up big time. Because it's, I think it's 65 million copies or something have been sold at this point in time for The Witcher 3. It's a massive, massive and well-loved game at the moment. I played it. It is long. It is long, and I had 2 breaks while I was playing it. Not as in, like, I went and got a drink. Like, I played it solidly for like a few weeks or whatever. And then I was like, I need a break for a couple of weeks to play something else, go back to it. And it took me kind of 3 stints to get through. And I still haven't done the 2 bits of DLC that are also supposed to be absolutely brilliant. They've been sitting there waiting for me, and I've been going, oh, I'm absolutely going to play those. But now they've come along and said, hey, we're going to package it all up neat again. Have another play. You can spare a couple of 100 hours. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe 2027. I've not booked much in 2027 yet. I can find 200 hours in there somewhere, maybe. So I'm really excited by it. Luke, I know you like The Witcher as well. What do you think of this announcement of some new content?
I am very excited for this. I am highly pumped. I mean, I loved. I didn't play the original Witcher, but I loved Witcher 2. And then I remember poring over like pre-release trailers for The Witcher 3, and I was just so excited. And funnily enough, it came out, and I played 5 hours, and I was like, okay, I'll come back to it. Like, it didn't instantly grab me, oddly. And then like 2 weeks later, I picked it back up, I think, and then I just played it for like 70 hours or something, and yeah, it became one of my favorite games probably ever, actually. So it's like, to this day, and if people haven't played it, like, I highly recommend that you do go and play it, because it's an incredible game, with, you know, just this super amazing world and great story and just really memorable characters. And then Hearts of Stone was the first expansion, which was amazing, like really cool side story, you know. Again, don't want to give too much away, but it takes place within the same map. And then Blood and Wine came out, which is probably like one of the best expansions I think ever made, because it's like this whole new environment in Toussaint, and it's like this whole new arc, and it rounds off, or at least you thought it rounded off, Geralt's story in a really cool, like, self-referential way. And then I thought that was it. Like, they did CDPR are brilliant for like supporting their games and always giving you, like, even if it's not a big expansion, they'll give you DLC and like extra stuff. And, you know, they did the big ray tracing patch on PC, which made it look amazing. And then they did console upgrades and all that stuff. And I really thought that was it. And I'm shocked that we're getting another expansion, which they've said is, you know, they've said look to Blood and Wine for the type of thing this will be. So it seems like it'll be a new environment, you know, like a big expansion. I'm just fascinated by it because, you know, they're making Witcher 4 on UE5, and then they're also making a game on their old engine, and they're making it with Fool's Theory, which is like a studio in Poland set up by ex-CDPR developers. So it's like this. And I think Fool's Theory are also working on a remake of the original Witcher, but in UE5.
Oh, are they?
So yeah, so they're doing like double duty for this basically, and that's a bit further out, that second project, than this one. So I'm just fascinated. Like, what will they do? Like, you know, like, I know they've done some interesting stuff. We've seen nothing about it apart from concept art, but like they've upgraded their minimum spec for the game, which makes me feel like they've done some engine upgrades. So, you know, is it going to look substantially better than the base game? as a result, which would be strange but cool because at least they're taking advantage of new stuff. So I'm just really excited, and I presume the whole purpose of this is to set up, like, properly lead into The Witcher 4. So I'm very excited about it, and it's going to sell like a bajillion copies. This expansion, it's going to do really, really well for them. They're going to get that bread. They're going to get lots of bread from this. So yeah, I'm excited. I think there's just tremendous developer and just a great game. So
yeah, I mean, same. I'm absolutely gonna get on this. They've got, I think there's a multiplayer Witcher game in the works as well, isn't there? So as well as their new IP and Cyberpunk too. So they've got a lot going on. Hopefully we don't see like quality diminish, but I think this one's probably in safe hands. And it's interesting you mentioned as well the ray tracing update that they did, I think sometime last year for The Witcher 3. I did have a little look at that, and for me it was kind of broken. Like there's a distinct difference between a game that's been made with that in mind and one that's been retrofitted. And the only few locations that I visited in it were like a few taverns and things, and they were really over dim. And I just got the impression that they hadn't quite like compensated for the fake ambient lighting they had before. So the new ray tracing ones, just some places were just really, really dark, but not to the extent that you're like, oh, this is a bad game now. Like, I'll absolutely play it again with the ray tracing on. Just, I need to find them hours, and I've blocked out the whole of 2027 to do it. So something to look forward to. That's not the only thing that's been announced this week. I completely forgot one of the world's biggest games, Call of Duty. Something. So I don't even know what is it. Is it a Modern Warfare this time?
Modern Warfare 4, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna say South Korea.
Something
Korea,
like that.
Just Korea, okay.
Yeah,
oh no, actually, you're right. I think it is supposed to be a war between North and South, isn't it? Potentially, as the setting for the story itself. It is the first Call of Duty that has dropped the previous generation of consoles. It is coming to Switch 2 as well, but we've generally got like a higher hardware baseline, which gives them a little bit of wiggle room to try and make some serious improvements this time around. Have we checked the trailer for this? Are we excited for some more Call of Duty? Anyone can speak on that. No.
There you go.
Okay, Luke,
not
also
really.
not that interested. Just as an IP, it just doesn't do it for you, or?
No, I mean, it looks nice. I thought visually, like clearly they've done another overhaul of their engine, so it looks very, very nice visually, and looks like the single player campaign may be good, possibly. It's hard to tell with Call of Duty, but people don't buy it for that. I'm small minority of people that would buy it for that, but no, I'm just not that. It just doesn't interest me in a franchise.
That's that is interesting in itself though, because obviously it is massive and it does have this like, oh, casuals touch this kind of taint about it. But it is like a massively talented set of studios and a massively high budget game that try and deliver in every way every time they do it. Like, I don't particularly enjoy Call of Duty myself either, so I can kind of empathize with your position on it. But I'm surprised that like the kind of level of apathy when I've asked the group about this new Call of Duty, despite the fact that it looks so good, despite the fact that it's got this talent and this budget and it's such a big name. I mean, what do you reckon to it?
I would play only the single player. I only played like multiplayer with you guys when it was in Game Pass. So I don't think this one will come to Game Pass since
not
they
come
are
to Game
moving
Pass
color
until a year later.
Yeah, a year later. I'm not gonna buy it. Not unless
we can wait a year, eh? We
like
can play it when it comes to Game Pass a year later. Okay.
Unless it is like some sort of masterpiece, or I don't know. I doubt it. They're not going to do that. But they said that they will make the skins grounded. So I think
Grounded?
Nicki
Last time
Minaj
as
also
well.
grounded. Nicki Minaj maybe counts as grounded.
This time it's going to let you be a grounded ladybird. That's what Craig's after.
Yes, that's what I was excited about. You mentioned gravity.
Okay. What about the people that are here in chat? Are you Call of Duty fans at all? Do you care for this? Like, it's clearly visually impressive, right? And they're not terrible games. I can't get into
The
them. They're not terrible
gunplay's
games.
the gunplay's second to none in Call of Duty. I think it's
Yeah.
not the Black Ops series. I think there's just a certain something missing from the Black Ops ones. The gunplay wise, I can't put my finger on it. But the Modern Warfare ones, they seem really tight. They always are. There's like I jumped into the free play. Or was it the beta of Battlefield 6, the newest Battlefield? And everyone seems to be really enjoying that. And I don't know. I just can't get to grips with it, the gunplay or anything. Whereas Call of Duty just seems a step above, in my opinion. That's one good thing I will say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so the other thing that was notable about this kind of Call of Duty announcement, though, is timing. So Microsoft own this studio. Microsoft have got a massive showcase coming up, summer events coming up, and Call of Duty drops on a random like Thursday, Friday, whenever it came out. Quite unexpected. Does that mean Microsoft has just got too much that they can't fit Call of Duty into their showcase, or is this I don't know, like remnants of the various legal battles they had over what they do with this IP? Luke, you're a lawyer. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with any legal stuff. I think it's a mix of one. You don't need a showcase. You don't need to have Call of Duty in a showcase. It can stand on its own, and as I was looking at the trailer views and stuff, like it's been hugely viewed. So you can do that. And also, I think they have learned the lesson from, I don't know if it's last showcase or the one before that, where they ended on Call of Duty, and like the hardcore tuning in were pretty annoyed, I think, generally, because it's not the type of game that people want to see in a showcase. I don't think
One more
that's
thing.
like that's quite a big departure though, because if you like prior to all the ABK acquisition and stuff, when Activision were running free and doing what they wanted, having Call of Duty at your showcase was like a big deal. Who had the marketing for Call of Duty was a big deal, and Call of Duty typically, when E3 was a thing and you'd have like Sony versus Microsoft, and Call of Duty changed hands with its marketing deal along the way, it would typically open those shows as like the big thing of the year. So I mean, has the series just like fallen from grace? Do people not care about Call of Duty anymore? What's different?
No, I think there's a difference between having the marketing, which, as you say, is really beneficial, but then showing it at a showcase. Having the marketing is hugely important because it helps drive people to your platform, because it's such a big game. Like, it's such a well-known IP, only second or third or fourth to like a couple of others in the world. So that's very important. And having it in a showcase is fine if you open with it. But as Craig said, like having it as the one last thing is dumb. Like, it's dumb because people who are tuning into the showcases aren't tuning in to see Call of Duty. Like, if it's there, fine. Like, that's okay. To have it open or be, somewhere in there, that's okay. But it just sucks. It sucks time away from games that could otherwise really like benefit from having that time, right? That have bigger exposure if Call of Duty wasn't there. So I just think it's just a juggernaut, like its own juggernaut. It doesn't need to be in showcases and stuff, and so I don't think it should be, because it will probably, like, if you add up the views online now, it will probably have more views than any other game that Xbox show in their showcase in the next week.
It might
So
also
it doesn't
run
need
like
it.
kind of counters to the conversation we were having earlier when we were talking about what logos they do and don't show in a showcase. They might actually specifically not want to associate Call of Duty with Xbox too heavily for the sake of that multi-platform presence.
Yeah.
Because they don't want anybody to tune into it, see it at an Xbox showcase and think that they can't buy it on a PlayStation despite a logo sitting there, which is like, might be a bit silly, but they're going to be very precious about an IP that, one, makes that much money, and two, costs that much money to produce. Craig, I don't know, really. You got anything else for Call of Duty?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like you're saying they need to make it exclusive, doesn't it?
Well, that would be a move, but they're
Make
not
Call of Duty
allowed. That one
exclusive.
is, they are legally tied on that. They did promise PlayStation and Switch versions for the next decade on that one. But
Yeah. I'm interested to see how it runs on Nintendo Switch too. You have to give Activision and whatever studios they have. I don't know which one is this, Raven or something like that. They do. Yeah, they do a good job optimizing and making their own engine. They run on low end hardware. It's a variant of its software old engine, I believe. It's a fork of that, but it changed so much. But it's so optimized. So I want to shout that out for Call of Duty, even though
Yeah, and on that, like supporting what you're saying there, they've always put like massive amounts of effort into the feel of the game, into how responsive it is. So these were the ones that when the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out and every game releasing was like 30 frames per second, they said absolutely not. This game has to feel smooth. We're going to do it 60 and we're going to really go into the engine and we're really going to tweak how like input is registered in the rendering pipeline and all the rest of it to make it feel as snappy as possible. And that always has paid off. This is why so many people have always said that Call of Duty has that certain feel. Craig, you were saying like you didn't feel it in Black Ops, but you felt it in Modern Warfare. They always had this real particular like flow and feel to it. And I respect the series for what it has achieved in that sense. So I don't know, but the apathy is there. It just is. Can't help it.
And they don't sit on their asses like FIFA developers. Like they just they evolve their engine over time. And yeah, I think Call of Duty is like one of the first games to have 60 FPS on consoles on 360, from what I understand. So yeah.
It's definitely the one that prioritized it very notably. I don't know about first. I wouldn't want to, like, without doing some serious research that I'm not going to do, figure that one out. But they did make it a signature.
I just still get resentful that about Call of Duty in general, that it's because it's such a juggernaut and it has such like a massive budget and like dev cadence and all of that stuff, that it prevents, these Sledgehammer and Treyarch and Raven and Infinity Ward from making other stuff, because they're so talented and they could make just incredible, amazing new games. And it's so frustrating that it's just not possible because they have to make Call of Duty. And it's very successful, and it means they all keep their jobs and, they can keep hiring and they make loads of money. But it's just annoying.
Raven used to make really good games. I think Raven did Prototype, right? Prototype, it did Singularity.
Yes.
Singularity, and they did Wolfenstein, the old Wolfenstein games.
Toys for
they
Bob,
do a lot of
whatever they were called.
Yeah.
I remember studios getting drawn into Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Even Toys for Bob were drawn in to making Call of Duty, like being a support studio. Thank God.
Yeah.
Like they got out of it at least, so we get something else from them. But
well, Neversoft was dragged in, but then now they escaped that to start doing Tony Hawk. So maybe there is chance that one of them might escape that Call of Duty hold.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think we've covered the things that we needed to cover that I'm aware of, but you've got your document. Is there anything that we've missed that we should be talking about this week?
There is like small things, like just shout out, there is Resident Evil Requiem demo, which is weird. They made it after the release, so people can go and play it. There is that's Mina the Hollower. I'm not sure if anybody played it here or interested in playing it.
Do you know what? We will touch on that. Luke, you got something to say about that one?
Yeah, I picked it up because I played the demo.
That's interesting. So actually,
I haven't played it now, but
based on its quality, that you decided you're going to pick it up. So not based on it's got like an influencer push. It's got massive review scores everywhere saying that it's brilliant. But you're kind of supporting that because you've gone and played the demo and decided actually, I do love this. It does feel good or whatever.
Yeah. It's I really like Yacht Club games as well. So I'm a big fan of Shovel Knight, and this isn't Shovel Knight. This is more like a Link to the Past type game. That's kind of what its influence is, but kind of 8-bit era visuals, and it's just super cool. And so I expected it would do critically well anyway, based on the demo, but not perhaps as well as it has done, because it is like ridiculously highly reviewed. So I'm really looking forward to playing it, but I'm just not going to touch it until got through all the other stuff that I've got to play. So,
And Craig, have you seen this one? Does it appeal to you at all?
I haven't seen anything about it apart from the review scores. But is it turn-based? Have I heard that right? No. I don't know why I'm hearing
No,
it.
it's like it's like old Zelda games apparently, and it has Souls influence from what I heard. I don't know
In
what
that it's
do they
supposed to be
imply
quite
that.
difficult, I think.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
And that's all I know. It's like
Is it-
top-down pixel art.
What's the price point of it? What?
It's
We're talking.
£17.
Oh, right, yeah. Might be worth a look then, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm
It's,
going to be honest. I
it's
look at it
horrible
and I go,
graphics.
It's disrespectful of me and stuff. Like, it's supposed to be a brilliant game. Luke's loving it, but I look at it and no, that's not for me. It's
I think it helps that I've been like, I've got the as you know, I've got the AYM Thor, so I've been playing a lot of like, you know, Game Boy Color games and stuff like that, and like dabbling in them. So to me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's great, because I'm so used to seeing that like every other week, let's say. But I think for some people, it's like you go back to 16 bits quite easy, because the arts can be beautiful in those games, like, and it just stands the test of time. I don't think 8-bit holds up quite as well for most people as that. But I think this has a fantastic art style. But I can understand that you might go, ugh, that's kind of.
I mean, I was playing
like,
Pokemon Leaf Green.
Yeah. So it looks. I mean, they've also, I think, because like Pokemon like Leaf Green and Fire Red, they're much. I don't know how to describe it. They're not as like. Well, they're not as. This is sort of like deliberately sort of ugly because of the setting. Like, it's kind of cosmic horror, like eldritchy in part. So like it's got 8-bit and it's kind of like an ugly environment, you know, deliberately so. Whereas Pokemon is obviously quite nice and, you know, nature,
whimsical,
whimsical. So I think, yeah. But I understand why people maybe don't like the art style.
very generous of you.
I'm confused if I played it or not, because I played something like this maybe a year ago or more. Does it have like a yo-yo that you use as your weapon?
I can't.
That's
Yeah, it might.
3D platform,
maybe.
right? Huh?
Oh no, are you? Yeah. Oh, Craig. You're talking about Penny's.
Yes, that's what I was thinking when he said
Yeah. That did have a yo-yo game. I can't remember if this has a weapon like that.
Okay. Because I played something 2D like this, but it has a yo-yo. Maybe it's something different, because I don't remember the graphics being this horrible.
Yeah, but well, Penny, if you think about Pennies, that was like full 3D. So
no, I'm not thinking about that one. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Well, now that Johnny's here, I think we probably need to wrap up. Just to be spiteful. So, I think we probably... Was there anything else? I mean, you were just going through a list then, I think, and we interrupted and stopped at Mina the Hollower, but was there anything else on
Fable delay?
Fable has been delayed. Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Very sad about that.
February 27, I think. Avoiding the...
I understand why,
Yeah, avoiding the GTA and various other heavy hitters, but mostly GTA. So, I mean, I would have rather had Fable than GTA myself, but...
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm sad.
What about you? I mean, GTA or Fable?
GTA. I'll take that in a heartbeat. I'll do anything for GTA. Yeah. Yeah. So
what about you, Luke? GTA or Fable?
From a tech perspective, GTA, but from an actual which game would I rather have playing at the end of the year would be Fable for sure.
Odds on GTA gets delayed to February as well, but
just to spite
Yeah, just that
Fable,
spite.
just to destroy. They just want to shut that second Playground Studios team down, so they're going to move it, and then they can hoover up all the talent in Leamington. So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, fair. I think that probably covers it. So go on.
There is one thing, like small thing. I'm not sure if we can just talk about it like quickly. It's so Sony has the showcase. Is it next week? I believe. I don't know if it's
Maverick
Monday
you're
or
talking
not.
about.
No, not
No?
Maverick. Sony has a countdown in their website for that showcase, and they never do that. And I think this is a big indicator that it will be big. Like it will be a big showcase.
We can hope, but actually it's better to expect nothing, and then you'll enjoy it more. Always expect very little, because otherwise you're setting yourself up for disappointment, you know. So.
I'm sure it will be like Final Fantasy VII Part 3 shows up and I will be disappointed.
That's enough for me. You'll be
Yes,
disappointed.
that's what we agree on, I mean.
Yes, we agree on that.
Disgusting. Okay, that's the week pretty much covered. I think we've got through quite a bit there. There was quite a lot to talk about. Next week there'll be even more because we are getting all these showcases underway. So there'll be a bunch of games reveals and trailers and all the rest of it to break down and cover. That's a week away though. For now, let's wrap up today. We're going to go in reverse order. We're going to start with Amin because he doesn't look ready. Amin.
No. Don't start with me. I need to open the door. Be right back.
Yes, we're doing this Noel's house party again. Who's at the door? And it never turns out to be anyone. He's just getting a pizza or something stupid like that. So we'll go normal order. Yeah. Craig, say what you want to say to people.
Not much to say. Thanks again for coming through.
No, Craig, thank you. Much appreciated. It's been good again. Sorry, I interrupted. Carry on.
I'll say what I always say. Community games heroes, come on through. We had a good week. We're all right last night in the end, wasn't it? We managed to get a few stragglers in. But yeah, let's keep them numbers going up.
Okay. Yeah, that means we're going to have to do some more Forza Horizon, right? We can. That's okay. Luke. You've shrunk even more since the start of the show.
I know. I split down in my chair. I noticed it, but I'm gonna keep going until I'm prone.
We're gonna get out of here before that happens. Before you disappear off frame entirely. So, say what you want to say.
Pleasure as always, and thanks for everyone for joining in. And go on the Discord.
Do it. We've not had new people in Discord for a little while. We need some fresh blood in there to savage. So there's a link in the video description, or there should be, and it is a nice chill place to talk various games and things. So hit that, get in there. You can join us on the community games and talk to us, which is lovely. Amin, who was at the door?
I don't know. Someone actually opened the door, so I don't
just
know.
Needed time to think about your outro. So here it is. He's had this preparation time. He's bought himself a minute. He's gone to a fake door knock to build this up.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Thank you for having us, Asa, and also I just wanted to say it's I really enjoy talking to you guys. It's the highlights of my week. So thank you. Join the Discord, join the community games, and we have a good Discord.
Well, please don't thank me. It's been my pleasure. Thank you everybody that has that's come through and listened to us ramble and joined in chat and all the rest of it. And hopefully we will see you next week.
Bye.